1:15. It is the Anfield Wrap. It is John Gibbons, Kieran Molyneux and Andy Heaton to talk you through Liverpool breaking the British transfer record to sign Alexander Isak. 125 million or 130 million, depending upon your point of view. But what on earth is £5 million between friends? It's something that I wonder and say all the time. First and foremost, here we are, John Gibbons, top of the league with all our problems, breaking the British transfer record.
And now it's phenomenal, isn't it? People talk about Liverpool acting like the biggest club in the country, and this is what it's all about. It's being top of the league and signing the best player who's, I was going to say available. He wasn't even available. We just made him available because we pushed our weight around and we got him, and it's phenomenal to feel like that as a football club. He's so exciting to watch, and we've watched him, and he scored goals against us, and he's hurt us. He's scored against us in finals, he's scored against us home and away, and we've seen how great he is, and now he's playing for Liverpool. Well, very, very soon he's playing for Liverpool, and I can't wait to watch him because you're adding him to what is a phenomenal Liverpool team. Like you say, Neil, we're top of the league, and you watch him today, and there's not much wrong with them, really, but to add a world-class striker is something else, and yeah, it is something else, and this is something else, and everyone else is going to be taking a deep breath because you got to beat Liverpool last year, and now you got to beat Liverpool with him and Bert and everything else, and yeah, this is what it's all about.
It is, Keo. You must be absolutely flying off the back of this. You were excited as it was, and you must be excited even more now.
I've said it all summer. I love seeing Liverpool act like the biggest team in the country, the biggest team in Europe. And I said that after the Leeds deal. But the business all summer, the way they've done this deal, I mean, it's been ruthless, but it's been horrible. But it's how you do big deals, and now Liverpool are one of the big boys, if not the big boy, when it comes to transfers. I mean, this the way we get things done. I mean, I think there's going to be another one as well to come in, and I think it's the best summer I've ever seen as a Liverpool fan. I think it might be the best transfer window we've ever had. And as they both just said there, I mean, if I was any other fan of any other team in this country now, I'd be thinking, for fuck's sake, like, how would you beat them? And I remember when City signed Haaland, I felt similar. I was like, wow, they're the best team in the country. They're already a pain in the ass to play against, but now they want to go with this striker. I can imagine this is worse because this Liverpool team has got so many world-class players in now already, and now you're having another one.
It's, John, it really is that sort of, that idea of you're adding this one more special one. When there is already so many world-class players, it is very, very, very exciting right now in this moment.
Yeah, because you see quality all over the pitch, and that's what's phenomenal, really. And adding Isak, I'm struggling to remember in my lifetime seeing so many world-class players dotted about the football pitch. We've been fortunate in our lifetime, Neil, and we're the almost identical age. We're fortunate to have seen so many great footballers, but so many of them in one team at one time. Like, I can't remember this, the fact that you got Isak up top, who was the best striker in the league, one of the best strikers in the world. Mo Salah to the right of him, Florian Wirtz supplying him. Then at the back, Virgil, the goalkeeper, Alisson. These are like, it's it's World 11 territory, isn't it? And 5 of them are at Liverpool, and that's it's such a gift, isn't it? It's going to be so phenomenal to watch them all, but we're not talking about the Harlem Globetrotters here. We're not talking about an exhibition side. We're talking about footballers who want to win, and they're going to want to win, and Isaac's come to win, and and he's going to win.
No, but this is it, Andy, for me. He's the reason why this has gone the way it's gone, the reason why he's been so determined, so focused, he's wanted Liverpool, is because he got some silverware last season, he really liked it, and he wants more. And he's decided the best place he's going to get that is Liverpool. And he's looked at what Liverpool are about, and he looks at what Liverpool have done, and he's all in.
Yeah, it's mad, because I think this is the first time at least in my living memory, where we've acted and behaved and been treated like a big club. I mean, we're normally at the other end of this. Normally we have a big club interested in our players, and it's kind of this inevitability about it. And then the fact that Liverpool can't have this kind of pull now where they can orchestrate this. And listen, I feel sorry for Newcastle fans. I do, genuinely. But we've turned their star striker's head, and he's one of the informed forwards in Europe, and I think it's huge for the club and speaks massively to where we are as a club. And maybe it's a large conversation we even spoke about, maybe there's a reconfiguration about where Liverpool are in the food chain now. The fact that we can do this kind of stuff. I think we watched Liverpool today, and listen, we've had a fantastic result against a really tough Liverpool Arsenal side, and it's people were talking all window. I've been watching Sky Sports News for the last couple of days, and the comments about Arsenal have strengthened the most in this window. But if Liverpool get this over the line, which it looks like they will do now, against massive pressure, I mean, don't forget, Neil, the powers behind Newcastle, they're no mugs either. They're not soft. The fact that Liverpool can do this against that, the size of Newcastle as a club, but not on the pitch, but financially, to turn that player's head is huge. And if they do another one tomorrow, and that's for a different show, it's...
Well, no, it is.
It's unreal.
There's tons of this, which is obviously entertaining. When you get into all the sort of the transfer banter, there's the stuff around a couple of the journalists up there. There's loads of bits and pieces. But what to me is dead interesting is Liverpool effectively said to Newcastle back in July when me and you were out together, if I remember rightly, one day. They said to Newcastle, right, if you don't box us off with Isak, we're going to pick up Ekatike. That was what was reported.
Yeah, 100%.
In the end, Kia, they've got both. Liverpool have got both because that's what Liverpool needs. Liverpool wanted that. That's what they've ended up doing. And we'll see the benefits of it on the pitch. All this stuff, the winning the transfer window, all of that, it's all a bit of fluff. What I want is to win games, game after game after game after game after game, because that's the way you retain this title and it's the way you win the European Cup.
Yes. Yes. In it. And with the Ekatike thing, I mean, I don't really talk too much about Newcastle because it's done now, but there was a bit of fluff around that they went in for Ekatike and then we nipped in. Liverpool have been doing their business properly for a good few years now, and they sacked Ekatike for a long time, and it was always the plan to get him in. It was whether I just think Newcastle have handled it terribly, and I mean I don't know how they could have handled it given the fact that the player has been on strike, but it's not been good for Newcastle. But the fact is, Liverpool, I've got the man, and Liverpool have now got the best front line in the league, and like you, Neil, I want to see Liverpool dominate. I mean, you talk about the periods where Liverpool on the other end of this, and in the period where Liverpool struggled. I mean,
that's what I was saying. How many times have we suffered this?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, guys, looking at first of all in the '90s, where like Liverpool weren't competing, and even then when Liverpool did start to win trophies and at the big moments, we never really could play with the big boys. We never really could compete. We, from Rafa right through to Rodgers, right through to Jürgen. We've never really like gone in big with the best players available, and we've done it twice in the same window. And never mind just the fact that it's good to be acting like the big boy. The fact is we needed another striker in as well. We're going to get the best one possible, and we are putting ourselves in the position to win game after game after game because there's goals all across that front line now. Like last year, there was goals from Salah, and you could argue that there should have been more from the other forwards. I don't think Liverpool had the problem this year with getting goals from the other forwards. Now we've got Isak and Ekatike in the side.
What happens next, John, on all of this is that we're going to get to see them. I keep worrying about the run of games, but they can spread these fixtures out now. Today was another example of you were worried when Ekatike went off because he really will, and he was great at injury time. Don't get me wrong, but what you wanted was something else, something a little bit different. It just wasn't quite there. Now listen, we can do the post-mortem, but there's no better next person that Liverpool could conceivably have got.
Yeah, listen, it's four great forwards, and people can say, "Well, how are you going to make that work?" But the manager, that's his job to make that work, and obviously, he's been part of the thought process that he wants to have that problem, and you've pointed out for a long time, Neil, the AFCON situation, how early Mo Salah goes, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if during that period we see two up top with maybe Florian Wirtz behind them, and a front two of Ekitike and Isak, which is what was billed by Newcastle, of course, and what I think Liverpool will put out over that period. And so, yeah, it allows Isak to take his time, which I think is good. I would imagine he'll feature in some way against Burnley, but there's no rush to kind of get him in the starting line.
And maybe he'll be playing for Sweden, John.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's it. There's he gets to go and do that and relax a little bit, be away from the pressure a little bit if that's the thing. And but I just can't wait to watch him play for Liverpool because, like I said before, every time he's played against us, he's hurt us. But you enjoy watching him in a funny way because he was just so phenomenal. And the fact that he's playing for us, the fact that he's going to play for us is so exciting.
Neil, I know you're hosting this, but before I close it, just to refer back to me previously, what do you think this says about Liverpool at the minute and where they are?
I think it says that they want to try and win the league and the European Cup in the same season. And they're beginning to plan as well for what happens the other side of when Salah goes.
Yeah.
And I think that all of that's just a huge positive. You've got Ekitike, who's 23 this year. Isak's 25. Wirtz is 22. Knocking around. Gakpo's just signed his new long-term deal. So there's four players, and they're giving Isak a 6-year deal. They gave Ekitike a 6-year deal. I think Wirtz was a 5-year deal. So these are footballers, and now Gakpo's got a new long-term deal. So these are footballers Liverpool plan to move forward with to the other side of Salah. And to me, that's the most important thing. You've got to have Salah has been genuinely, and listen, if Isak outdoes Salah, then good God. If Ekitike outdoes Salah, then good God. Salah is the greatest attacker that Liverpool have had in the modern era, it's in the Premier League era. And I think that's what they're planning for. They're planning for, well, how do we cope the other side of that? Not just cope, but continue to thrive and compete at the very highest level. Because this is, this club, the people who own it, they need Liverpool to be a Champions League force. They need Liverpool to be not just getting to the Champions League, but come in top 8, come in top 4. There's no other moves. There's no other way.
But do you not think this feels different though to how we normally operate?
Yeah, it is different, but I think it's a good difference, and I think we've seen an opportunity, and I think we've also gone right one big summer, and we can get loads of things boxed off, and I think that's really exciting to almost go one big summer here and get everything boxed off.
The thing is, there's not a lot of players available. There's not a lot of great players available. And I said this the other day I'm not bothered about Liverpool playing a lot of money for Wirtz or a lot of money for Isak and inflating the market because this time next summer, Liverpool won't be shopping for the number 9 and they won't be shopping for the number 10. And we already know there's not a lot of decent number 9s available out there. So whether Haaland moves on or whether Arsenal need another one or United or Chelsea, whoever it may be, start shopping for strikers, we're not going to get anyone anywhere near as good as Isak, but the price is going to be up there. And we've done our business all in one summer. I don't expect to see Liverpool do hardly anything next year in a World Cup year. I mean, maybe one or two, but looking at the squad now, I mean, we've been saying that we'll be a perfect winner if we get another striker and if we get a defender in. And as Andy said, that's for another show. I expect that to happen later on today as well. I'll usually say tomorrow today, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, what a way to do your business.
I think it's a great way to do the business, Andy. And I think that what they're trying to achieve here is to get themselves sort of boxed off. And simultaneously, I think they are now. It's a funny time. What we're used to, it isn't just the idea of where we are in the food chain or a pecking order, but we're also used to other clubs blow us out the water. But I think you look at all the developments that have been done on the stadium and on training centres, and there's nothing happening at the moment. That helps. I think they've probably paid off a number of previous transfers. That helps. I think they've probably paid off the bulk of the 23 summer transfers. That helps. And I think they've just sort of gone, no, we can afford to do this. They've got a plan for it and they've executed it. And, I think that's, Andy, I think that's incredible stuff.
Yeah, no, it is. So I'm going to counter my own arguments here, though. So we take away the loans against the main stand in the Annie Road and what they've done up in Kirby, which is magnificent, by the way. I think and you can disagree because you're all far cleverer than me, but there's like a generational refresh button here. So I remember when they signed Virgil van Dijk and they broke the world record for a centre half, and then they signed Alisson as well. It's not as if they're shy and put the money there. I just think at the moment, well, no, I think compared to where we were then, compared to where we are now, we haven't just got the gumption to do it. We've got the pull to do it. I just think this Isak thing, I'm not going to lie, I'm normally quite conservative. I think, and I'm also not actually entirely comfortable with how it's been done and whether we want to be this way as a club. So I'll say that out loud, but this is the first time in my mind that we've had this almost power to just go, no, we want you and you will sign for us. And I think we're in that phase out of almost like a second, third phase refresh where we're going, right, we're going to do this money this year, we're going to get where we are, and we're going to go from there.
Yeah, but John, the thing is, the Premier League champions, they were beat last season by the team that won the Champions League, and they had to go all the way to penalties. And if Quanta's header hits the inside of the post and bounces in, they could have done that double. I think it would have been too much. I think it would have been a bit too much of a stretch. Being dead honest, I think that they were knackered by the time they got to that point. But part of the purpose of Isak is to say, no, there's more quality in there, and this is how we're going to do it.
Yeah, but everything that's come out about the manager from the second he stepped in is that he's talked about the required quality to play for Liverpool, and fucking hell, he set the bar high this summer, hasn't he, in terms of the players that he's got in, and not just Isak, but Ekazike and how great he's looked, Florian Wirtz, the fullbacks, and Frimpong got injured early, but Kirkus is terrific today, and it's about being the best player in your position, and Liverpool having that. And we've talked about that for a while, but it's coming to fruition right in front of us, and he's backing himself as well as a manager, which is great to manage all these egos, personalities, superstars, whatever you want to call them, and that's great too. And yeah, he's really backing himself because we've got the most talented squad in the Premier League now. With Isak, it was maybe touch and go before that, but with him in and if they can get Gay, and it's the best squad. It's probably the best squad in Europe, and if you've got the best squad in Europe, you've got to win the biggest trophies, and I think the manager's fine with that. I think the manager's fine to have that pressure, and good on him.
No, John's point there, Keo, I think all summer, I think the manager has been fine with the pressure. The manager's fine with the pressure of being champions. He was fine with the pressure of rocking up and managing Liverpool in the first place. To me, that's been one of the things that's been great about the manager is that he doesn't want Liverpool to be underdogs. He wants Liverpool to be the dominant force. He's very respectful of every opposition. He rates every opposition. He talks about them. But I think he's absolutely fine with, if you make this sort of sign and the pressure's on you to deliver, I reckon he looks around that dressing room, looks at Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk and says, go on, boys, this is what you wanted.
He's more than fine with the pressure. He's took over Jurgen Klopp and he's made Liverpool better. In my opinion, Liverpool are a better side than we were a couple of years ago. And I think I'm talking about the way we play football. It's more controlled. It's we're more likely to win games. I think the way we play is we're less likely to have injuries, despite having a couple here and there. But in game, the way we can change it from plan A to plan B to plan C to plan D. He's so tactically brilliant. So he's more than being able to handle the pressure, in my opinion. I wouldn't swap him for any other manager on the planet. And the best part is we're giving them players to go and play his way. And I think there's gears to this Liverpool team this season. I mean, we're 3-3, and everyone will admit we haven't really got going yet. For a couple of games looked a little bit open at the back at times, and even to the first half, it wasn't quite clicking. Would have thought it started to click in the second half until Liverpool looked good. I think we deserved the goal. I think Arsenal were decent as well, and that's why it was a bit of a Nottingham game. But sorry, not a Nottingham game. You know what I mean? A bit of a boring game, if you know what I mean. It wasn't one for the neutrals. But I think when we get back from this international break, is it Burnley, Everton, and Young O'Neill was the next one after that?
Crystal Palace, huge.
Crystal Palace away.
Palace, dead hard.
it's a tough one, but I expect we go into that Palace game to go 6 out of 6. And if we go 6 out of 6 there, I always say when we get to 10 games, we look at where we're at. We're getting close. Do you know what I mean? To look where we're after 6 games, and so I expect a big season, but I think there's gears to this Liverpool team, and we've just added Nos to the side by putting this number 9 in.
Yeah, and I think we've got to see what tomorrow holds in general, Andy, because there's every chance. Gay is also linked. I think that I believe that there could still be something a bit wild that comes in from left field. I think tomorrow for a number of clubs is going to be absolutely hectic. I'm almost delighted in a way we've got ours in now tonight, as mad as it is that I'm back in the studio at 1 a.m. I'm delighted that it's done now, and we're not sort of looking around at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning going, well, what's the news going to be? Where's that up to? And all of that. We've got this big one in. All the Gay news is that he's saying his goodbyes right now. Liverpool, as mad as it might sound, I think everyone's going to be bananas tomorrow. So I'm glad we've got our bit of, as ever, we're 24 hours early at least.
Well, first off, I'd like to apologise to all the 3 gentlemen in this show who have messaged saying, come on, let's do a show right now. So let's get that away. No, I think you're absolutely right. This getting out tonight kind of sets the agenda for tomorrow and allows the club to try and complete or get the Gay deal over the line. I'm 100% convinced. I'll say this now when people can pull me up. I'm 100% convinced this happens.
Yeah.
But I'm also with you as well. I think they might also have something else in their back pocket. Whilst everyone's focus has been on, well, obviously what will be the biggest transfer story of the season after the Florian Wirtz transfer story of the season, the Gay in and then get someone else in. I think there might also be some outs as well, but we'll see. But you know what? I'm just basking in this where we are at the minute, and I think the time. And listen, don't get me wrong. I was fearing today's fixture, as we've talked about on shows all weekend. Their bench looked deeper, but it was weird today, Neil. When I looked at the starting 11s, I thought we looked strong, which was weird because I thought they had the better first half.
Yeah.
And we talk about strength and depth and bench. And I thought our changes were better than their changes, so we can add them 2 additions and maybe one more. Then fuck me, it puts us in a really good space.
No, I mean, John, I think that's I think Andy's point there spot on, and also just I think this would have happened tonight anyway, but to do it off the back of beating our likeliest rivals on the day the next likeliest rivals went to, albeit a difficult away ground, and got beat. The whole thing is, it's like this crowning thing on what is a really, really good day.
Yeah, that's it, because signing great players is one thing, but signing great players when you're top of the league is something else. And, I watched them today thinking they're the best team in the country, but it's a long season, and you need a squad, and you need reinforcements at different times, and you need qualities to come in, and there wasn't loads of it off the bench, and obviously if there's injuries, then you might struggle as well. So the fact that they're able to, willing and able to bring in such a great player when we are top of the league is such a statement, and statements often used in football, isn't it? But I mean, this is huge. It's a club record fee, it's a British transfer record, it's a striker who everyone's seen his quality, and he's coming to Liverpool, and he only wanted to come to Liverpool. He was desperate to come to Liverpool. He risked some of his reputation and everything else, and it's happening. I just keep coming back to it, but I just can't wait to watch him. I cannot wait to watch him in a Liverpool shirt, and you think about Salah and Bates and everyone else providing him with
his
passes.
home league debut, John, will be against Everton.
Sorry.
Can we move the game sooner?
Yes, come on.
It's 12:30 on a Saturday, but is there any way we can just play it on the Friday night? Can we play it tomorrow?
Or now?
Or now?
6-year deal I made him, by the way. Yeah. Oh, I'm not eating him.
Just on this though, and I mean this with the greatest affection from my Everton supporting friends. They have the worst sense of inevitability of anyone ever, and that's all I'll be talking about. So one of my favourite Everton facts is when Ian Rush signed for Newcastle, he played about 20 odd games right? And he scored 1 goal against Everton. But before they even played it, my best friend at the time turned around and went, "Get your money on him right now, because that's what's going to happen."
It was Virgil's debut as well, and Virgil nodded home, and it went from there and did the decent thing. All wonderful stuff, yes, all of that, all of it is to come, and all of it's to come on the Anfield Wrap as well. Listen, tomorrow, we're obviously got a load of shows tomorrow. Let me tell you that.
But up first thing.
Yeah. First thing, we've got to start the week, knocking out first thing in the morning for video subscribers. That is to come. We've got the Anfield Wrap as well, obviously. That'll be happening tomorrow from 11:30. We'll get out ASAP. We've got a gutter for you as well. A review looking back on that game against Arsenal. The weekend hosted by John. I don't know what he's going to talk about on that one. I reckon some VAR might come into that one as well. I've got a box off for Neil and in the evening. I'll see what I can sort out for that one. It should be the absolute business. Everything that you want all the way through the day, and then the rest of it all the way through the week as well. We'll do more reaction stuff as and when other players are confirmed, as and when it goes off all the way through. The window closes at 7. I reckon that's for TV ratings. I reckon that's what they've thought. I reckon they want the big 5 till 7. That's the activity they want, and we'll be around for you. Everything that you want all the way through that as well. And then if there's deal sheets, I remember deal sheets. I know what a deal sheet is. If there's deal sheets, we'll come alive for them too, all the way and through until 11 o'clock, and then it's into the international break.
Oh, them fucking fax machines.
All the fax machines, yeah. They'll be coming all the way through. We'll have deal sheets coming out of our ears by 7 o'clock tonight. We'll make sure we get CC'd into every single deal sheet as and when that happens. See what Fulham are up to. They're buying a lad called Kevin from Shakhtar Donetsk. Fair play to them.
Neil, I have a worry about this. You know this big advert campaign that they've got switched to digital. So if you've got an elderly parent who's on an analog phone line and they're switching to digital, and they've got one of these panic buttons that work. My major question is, do fax machines work on a digital network?
We'll find out tomorrow. Something will go wrong.
We will.
Someone will get the comms wrong somewhere, and we'll find out that as well as it comes through. Looking forward to all of it on the Anfield Wrap. Will be a fantastic day, and we'll also see what Liverpool's social media team has got lined up for the arrival of Alexander Isak. I reckon that one will be rather special as well. I'm sure they'll have an interview with him. All of that we'll be dealing with on the Anfield Wrap, both tomorrow and then through the rest of the week. Got a tour and wrap to come, and that's going to be summing up the transfer window and going from there. But the final word shouldn't come down to me. The final word shouldn't come down to John Gibbons. The final word shouldn't come down to Andy Heaton. It shouldn't come down to Kieran Molyneux. For this saga that's gone on over the summer, I take you back to the 19th of August at 23:49, when Luke Edwards said, "If you are reading Newcastle's statement tonight and still think there's a chance Alexander Isak will be joining Liverpool this summer, good luck to you. You're going to need it. I've been trying to tell you all summer what the situation was. Some of you didn't want to listen." That's the Anfield Wrap. See you later on.